Something slightly more advanced than spells are rituals, and that's what we're going to do here behind me in Roots Classic. So the first thing you're going to want is a casting altar, pretty simply made using some verdant sprigs, etc. So you basically place ingredients onto the casting altar, and then we need some braziers for incense, and certain spells need different types of incense. You just light this with a flint and steel. So if we open up our runic tablet and go from spells and click the right arrow, we go to rituals, blah blah blah, tells you about rituals. Let's do a basic one. So I'm going to choose living tools. The living tools, basically, they regenerate their durability on their own. So for a living pickaxe, for example, it's a wooden pickaxe, a verdant sprig, a gold nugget, and 2 oak bark. So this icon here up the top, this is your ritual altar. And this flame here is what you're burning on the incense. Ignore this huge grid below for now. And that's for something slightly more advanced with the standing stones, you can see. But for this recipe, we don't need that. So, what do we need again? So in the center, I know it's a wooden pickaxe, a verdant sprig, and a gold nugget. So I go 1, 2, and 3. I just right-click them onto the casting altar. And then we need 2 oak bark on our brazier. So I right-click that one, it says item added, and I right-click that one, it says item added. You can't really see it on there, but as you can see, it says item added, so you know it's there. And then right-click with the flint and steel, a brazier is now burning, right-click, and it's now burning. Then all you do with an empty hand is shift right-click your altar in the middle, and the ritual will start. If you've done something wrong, obviously it won't work. I will show you what to do if you put the wrong thing in the brazier, for example, in a second. Pretty simple. Ta-da! Out pops our living pickaxe that can regenerate itself on durability. So let's say I add in oak bark here, or it's still burning. Let's say I don't want to burn this anymore. I could simply shift right click and it will stop burning the item in there, so you can replace it. For example, if you've put the wrong item into the brazier. Then we get to more advanced spells, rituals even. So let's talk about the crystal staff. Basically, this one has unlimited uses, and you can put up to 4 spells in it at a time. So to make this one, we need all of these items. But as you can see, there's a big grid below. 1, 2, and then these little ones, you see they're like half sizes, and then these longer ones outside. So that is where we get into the ritual stones. So the mundane ones, as shown here, are your half-size ones, and then we have the attuned ones, which are a bit bigger. They're all pretty simple recipes. And you're going to lay them out as shown. So basically, 1, 2, place on each of the 4 sides, and then diagonally 1, 2, and then the third bit, you put the small ones, and on the 4 main sides, you then have the attuned one like this. So it looks like that. Basically, there we go. And that's all you really do there. So the enhanced ones obviously are more powerful. You can then make energized ones, which will have an effect around them. For example, down here you can see we've got a vacuum one, vacuum nearby stuff, and you make these in a ritual, like I'd shown you, and you will get, the vacuum standing stone. So you put in an attuned one, some glowstone dust and nether brick, and then burn these 4 items in your braziers, and you'll get a vacuum standing stone. There's the repulsing one, which will repulse nearby stuff. You've got the accelerating one, which is like a speed beacon, a standing stone, oh, that's just a decorative one, an entangling one, slowness beacon, igniting, it'll burn nearby enemies, growing, it's, oh, that's good, it'll bone meal nearby crops, healing, it's a regeneration beacon, and there you go. But the ones you're only using for your rituals are the mundane and the attuned. All of these other ones will have a nearby effect when you place them, like placing a beacon. Before we get any further, I want to let you know that I'm partnering up with G-Portal here to give you 10% off your first month with them. They do all sorts of Minecraft servers, whether you want modded, spigot, sponge, anything you want. And you can swap out not just Minecraft, but any game on your server at the click of a button with GameCloud. Meaning the possibilities are endless. Again, check out the link in the description so you can get some money off with code Javier. So back to the crystal staff. Make it like this, as shown, like the living pickaxe example I showed you. So these 3 items go on the altar, these 4 items you burn on the brazier. So then actually adding spells to it. So I'm just going to pretend I've made my crystal staff. There we go. So to actually add your spells, what we're going to do is put our crystal staff in the center, and then we are going to get a verdant sprig, Just those two items in the center. And what you put in the braziers is the spells you want to add. So we're going to use a Roses Thorns and a Regeneration. Now, obviously, I've made these over in my mortar, etc. As usual, I right-click each one into the braziers and I light them. The staff can have up to 4 spells at a time. And I just shift right-click, and it's going to add those 2 spells into my staff. If you want to overwrite the spells you have in here, simply put your staff back on the altar with a Verdant Sprig with the new spells you want to put on in your braziers, and it'll just overwrite the previous ones, and the staff can hold up to 4. So here we go. I shift and right click to change what spell I'm using in my staff. You kind of have to get used to what color is which spell, but yeah, that's how you scroll through the spells in your staff. And these have unlimited uses. There's only one downside to it. You must be standing on a natural resource like dirt or grass in order to harness the energy of, Mother Nature, I guess. Otherwise, it'll use your life force to power your spells. But it does have unlimited uses, and like I said, can store up to 4 spells. There's also a ritual for summoning rain, banishing rain. There's one for doing a big fire blast. There's Sylvian armor, which is some pretty cool armor, and wildwood armor. It has increased terra regeneration. And that, if you're wondering what terra is when wearing that, the green bar you can see, like your mana bar, otherwise known as terra in Roots, when obviously I use a spell, obviously that has to recharge before I can use it again. So what the Wildwood armor does is it has an increased terra regeneration. So that bar will regenerate a lot quicker. And then the Sylvian Hood and armor also has increased terra regeneration. So that's +1 potency and 2 armor. So your spells will actually be more potent as well, which is like adding glowstone to your spells. Whereas the Wildwood ones just have armor and armor toughness instead. Apart from that, we've got mass breeding, lifestyle, sacrifice, etc. We have the runic focus, which can basically store energy inside of it. And we've got the engraved blade. Using the properties of a runic focus, which you can make using the ritual shown in this one, you've created a new weapon. You can burn up to 4 different kinds of barks as additional incenses to add different buffs to the sword. You can mix and match these as well. So you make the basic sword, and then you can get engraved blade, spikes. Each acacia bark you burn as incense during the sword's crafting will add some generic damage to the sword. Forceful with birch bark will add knockback to the sword. Holy is for undead, which like smite, I guess. And an aquatic, it will do damage to those as well. So that's the different swords you can get. You also do a time shift ritual. They're all quite simple. They're all laid out in here. As long as you know how to use the ritual and the braziers, then you're pretty good on that front. I did encounter a bug on 1.21.1 when doing my crystal staff before, and that was before, obviously, I started filming. Whereby I put the Verdant Sprig and the staff in here, put my my powders in the braziers, and it kept saying that the ritual was correct, but the braziers weren't correct, even though it was. To fix that bug, in case you're encountering it, I just broke my braziers and replaced them. I didn't have anything in them or anything, I'm pretty sure of that, because I kept testing. So if you do encounter any bugs with the rituals where you're certain that the ritual is correct but it's not working, just break the braziers and maybe even the altar, maybe even the standing stones, and replace them, and that at least fixed it for me. But I don't know. It could have been user error. I'm pretty sure it wasn't, but just in case you're encountering a bug like that, that's how I fixed it. And that, my friends, is everything you need to know to play Roots Classic. And if you're watching this on the individual video for rituals, then, well, that's how you do rituals. Thanks for watching, and before you go, I just want to say, if you want to join the Patreon in the description, that really helps support the channel, and you get access to our premium servers like this one here, which is currently ATM 10 at the time of filming. Of course, if you're watching a year after posting, it could be ATM 11, 12, or even maybe 13. We also do offer free-to-play servers, which you could just join the Discord to get, and if you'd like your own server, then check out the description for our G Portal 10% off with my link. Lastly, if you're new here, don't forget to check out the channel. I have an insane amount of mods available. As you can see, loads of tech mod guides, magic mod guides, utility mod guides. There is literally hundreds of guides I have done. My goal here is to do every single mod in Minecraft.